Good morning and welcome to the weekly Saturday coffee chat. We just had some chat and now we're going to get down to business. We're going to talk about oils and seeds, which if you're on the Ultimate Portion Fix and using the containers is our nice little orange container, which no matter what plan you're on has one of these. So, but you also can use your oils with your teaspoon for cooking. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And this is our category of healthy fats. So you also get your blue container, and every plan, no matter what plan you're on, only has one of these. So this is usually your hummus, your cheese, avocado, your like walnuts you count in here. So which and pecans too, I think. I always get those mixed up and I used to count them as a orange. So healthy fats, but let me share my screen and so we're going to start with cooking oils. We're going to talk about nutrition basics, proper storage tips, and then the smoke point, which determines on what you want to use your oils for. I didn't realize this, and oils is for making sure things don't stick to the pan, basically, is my chef expertise. But I didn't realize some of them you actually shouldn't be cooking with, or you should be cooking at low heat, and why that makes a difference. So let me, I want to do it now. I am going to, here we go. Stop share and then share screen. So I went out and looked at the Beachbody blog, so the ultimate guide to cooking oils. So if you go to the blog, you can just search cooking oils and it'll bring you to this. I'll throw it in the comments below the recording. But it's got because I was looking around on the internet for information and looking for more like a chart that has the smoke points to them. But you can get super big long ones. So you can always do that too. Google cooking oil smoke points and you'll see a chart for if the one I show you here doesn't have the oil that you use. But for nutrition basics, I just want to touch base on this. So all cooking oils are high in calories of fat, delivering about 120 calories and 14 grams of fat per tablespoon. So with our blue and our orange and our spoons, those, when you put them all together, give us the amount that we need per day. So that, and this is why there's a limited amount of these, because they are high in calorie and high in that fats, but we need them for the whole digestive process and for different, our body needs them for different reasons. So we definitely want the fat. We just want to make sure we're keeping it in check. The omega-3 and the omega-6 fatty acids in healthy fats is like the primary, one of the primary nutrients. Omega-6 is one that we actually get a lot from fast foods, like French fries, from cookies, from breads. It's in there, and we tend to get, as humans, we tend to get a lot of omega-6 just in the course of our eating. It's the omega-3 that we don't get, and which we need to make sure that we are looking for good sources of that. So, and so there's omega-3s, omega-6, saturated fat, and we really would just want to get a mixture of oils, which is really nice because if we're just using our spoons and our orange and our blue, we are getting a mix. And that just supports overall, heart health and lowers our inflammation. And you'll see on a couple of other things with the seeds, how this goes hand in hand to help us with just overall health. So, so the next thing we want to look at when we're choosing oils is the oil production method. And it really does require that you do look at the label. So you should look at cold pressed or expeller pressed oils. That's just a more natural process of getting the oil from the source. And it's usually, it may be a little bit more expensive, and it may be, but it's a cleaner oil and it keeps the nutrients intact. Sometimes some brands, some types will actually be what's called a solvent expelled oil. And that's actually a chemically extracted oil to get the oil from the plant. And that chemical, the solvent, can remain in the oil after that process. So not good. And that's, you'll see some terms on oils like unrefined, unfiltered, expeller expressed, cold expressed, and those are the things you want to look for. So the ones that are highly refined solvent expressed oils, typically, this is why canola oil, palm oil, safflower oil, and soybean oil are not considered as the healthiest choice, because typically those things are solvent expressed, and some vegetable oils. So I know, our Wesson oil, just the old generic vegetable oil that you can buy in the store, typically those are not your best source. And I had to look up the difference between plant oil and vegetable oil. And really, a vegetable oil can be a plant-based oil, which sounds like no-brainer, but olive oil, sunflower seed oil, coconut oil, soybean oil, corn oil, those are considered vegetable oils. They're an edible oil extracted from a whole plant food. So but when I think Wesson or vegetable oil, I think just this nasty liquid my mom used to use and pour it in the frying pan. It was not the healthiest. Okay, smoke point. So this is and there's a chart below we're going to look at, but the smoke point, that's something that we really want to look at. And you'll want to refer to this chart, and I'm going to print one out and put it with my my meal plan with my produce storage tips, so that I know that I'm using, and just get into the habit of using certain oils for cooking. If you're using like the Fixate recipes or the ones that we do on the blog, the ones that and the ones I send out weekly, if it says, olive oil for this recipe, obviously it's good for the cooking because they've already taken that into consideration. But with the with the smoke point, that's just the temperature at which the oil starts to smoke when it's heated up, and then it breaks down, and it actually then becomes toxic, right? And there's some byproducts from that smoke point, that smoking that happens, that's not good for you. And so if you're cooking and your oil starts to smoke up, you need to start over. Like, that's gotten to a point where that oil is now not good for consumption. So we'll look at the chart below here in just a second. And then just lastly, the storage tip. So I totally got an F on this because I wanted handy next to my oven, my stove, and it displayed on my counter. And that's not what you should do. So oils are sensitive to light, air, and heat. So you want to store them in a dark, cool place, such as a cupboard away from the stove. So I failed there. And then there's delicate varieties. So walnut, flaxseed, grapeseed, they go rancid more quickly and should be kept in the fridge. I don't get these, so that's good. So let's look at this table real quick. So there's a chart here. And let me zoom in to make it bigger. So it's dressing green is for dressings and dips. Yellow is sautés and sauces. The orange is baking and stir fry. The red is sear, fry, and roast. So the healthiest, high in omega-3s, is your flaxseed and your walnut oil. And then the MUFA and the PUFA are the monounsaturated fatty acid and the polyunsaturated fatty acid. And that just mono meaning one, it has one, it bonds one, I can't remember what it is. It's like, and I hate the word chemical, but there's one, and then the poly means there's more than one. So, but they're the healthy fats. They're the healthy unsaturated fats. So, so flaxseed and walnut oil, and let's see. You know what? I didn't realize. I thought this was the smoke point here, but I will provide a chart, the one that I did find that shows the smoke points. So still healthy: olive oil, almond oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, and I'll include this chart too, or you can go to the blog. I'm sorry. Here's why what I knew. So the flaxseed oil and the walnut oil, these you want for dressings and dips. Right, this is the smoke point. I knew I had some reference here. Okay, so this is what, taking into consideration the smoke point, what these would be good for. So flaxseed oil and walnut oil, good for dressings and dips. Olive oil, almond oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. So it tells you, like, the almond oil is good for everything. Avocado oil, good for everything. Olive oil, interestingly, okay, so it's good for baking and stir fry. But if you're, getting into the real high heat stuff, you don't want to use olive oil or coconut oil. It has a lower smoke point. Sesame oil, same, and grapeseed oil, same. So they are good for baking, stir fry, sauces, sautés, dressings, and dips, but not any of the real high heat cooking, which is above, the highest smoke point with oils is 400 degrees and above. And the chart that I'll send out, it tells you what is considered saute, what is considered stir fry, as far as that temperature is. So less healthy is the canola oil, peanut oil, soybean oil, and safflower oil. But they're still okay. All right, and then unhealthy is palm oil, and that's it. It does have a high smoke point, so it is good for these searing and frying and baking, but it's high in palmitic acid, which is associated with increased risk of heart disease. So it's not something you want to use very much. Okay, so this is. And I will put out the chart that actually has the oil and the temperature, so that as a better reference, like it's more user friendly. Because when I stir fry, you might consider it searing or frying, right? If I've got the heat too high, so just be mindful of that. So I'll send that out. And now let's see. Let's look at. Where'd it go? So that was cooking oils. So now we want to look at healthy seeds, and I'm just going to address flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, and pumpkin seeds. Flax seeds, so all the seeds are really good for omega-3s, typically for fiber, and they have great nutrients to them. So it's good to add them in. Flax seeds, they're great for fiber, but the fiber is on the outer shell, which we can't digest very well. So it's best to eat your flax seeds ground. I did not know this. I actually had some ground for a recipe and had been using it that way. And I used it when my digestive health ran out before I got the new one. It's a good source of soluble and insoluble fiber flaxseed. So it's a really good one to add into your smoothies, into your yogurt, into your oatmeal. And it helps reduce cholesterol, lower blood pressure, and even helps with lowering risk of cancer. Super seeds. The chia seeds, we all love our chia seeds. Similar to flax seeds, they're also a good source of fiber, antioxidants, and omega-3. And the good thing with the chia seeds and the flax seeds, because they are such a good source of fiber, when you add them into your smoothies or your yogurt or whatever, when you ingest that, that fiber really helps you to then feel full faster, stay full longer, have that full filling. So like with this one of the things was it reduces your appetite, because it does help you, like you should soak your seeds. It just kind of starts that process. And then once you eat them, they're just like take up all this room in your belly. So they're also help reduce your inflammation because of it's hard for me to say this one, lanoleic acid, which is part of that omega-3, one of the omega-3 fats. It helps reduce blood sugar, reduce risk factors for heart disease. So chia seeds are pretty awesome. And then the next one, hemp seeds. So I hadn't ever bought this. I heard about it a bit, and I didn't realize they're an excellent source of vegetarian protein. And it's probably where I've seen it a lot, especially when we're doing the plant-based diet. They contain more than 30% protein, as well as other essential nutrients. So essential meaning nutrients that we don't produce, our bodies don't produce, that it is essential that we get them outside in our food. So hemp seeds are one of the few plants that are a complete protein source, meaning it contains all of the 20 amino acids that your body can't make. So, and I didn't realize this. So it helps too with anti-inflammatory component. The hemp seed oil, you can like get a hemp seed oil supplement or buy a hemp seed oil. And that helps with eczema and other inflammatory conditions. So, and it's a great source of protein. So I'll be trying that out. I've never tried them. And then pumpkin seeds and pepitas, which I thought it was just a fun way, pepitas was a fun way to say pumpkin seeds, but really there's a difference. So this is your pumpkin seed and this is your pepita. And the pepita, if you have just a pumpkin, and if you want to shell the pumpkin seed here, the little inner part is the pepita. So really you're getting it together, but there are some pumpkin types that have a already shelled seed. So they just have the pepita in them. So our world is an amazing place. It's just wondrous. All these little things. It's like, I'm in awe of all the little parts of our body and all the little things that our body does, and how you can really like get down to the cell level and the hormones and what triggers this and what does that, and all the systems that we have in our body. But then you look at food and it's like, oh my goodness, like down to the little grains and to the seed within the seed and how good they are for us. And I get in awe of that stuff. So it's good for, this has omega-6, but it also has good phosphorus source. It improves heart health and some symptoms of urinary disorders. So it can help lower the bad cholesterol. Studies have shown with women in menopausal women that pumpkin seed oil will reduce blood pressure, increase the good cholesterol, the HDL, and improve menopause systems. So, and then the one that I didn't talk about was sunflower seeds. But they are a good source of protein too, and also help with inflammation. So one of the things that I noticed with the seeds that they did help, that one of their benefits was anti-inflammatory properties. So seeds are good to add in, as well as, good fiber. So before I click off here, just a reminder that we are doing the post-Halloween 3-day refresh. So if you don't have a kit on hand, yours is coming, Karen. I don't know if you got it, but get yours ordered. So let's see. So I just pulled up a couple of mine. So like the olive oil comes in a darker colored bottle typically. This is cold pressed. As Deb mentioned once on her bottle, it actually showed like a date on it. And this mine generic Kroger brand does not do that. But even I got like this olive oil because I wanted a spray oil, and I bought a couple of those, you know, spray nice decanter kind of things. But the two that I've tried don't work. So I'm gonna have to go and find one that does. But just because I don't like my can spray in a can, I want to be able to put the oil in the bottle and it just kind of sprays it for me. But this is expeller pressed, so you want to check that. Even the peanut oil, which they said was one of the ones that's typically solvent expressed or expelled. This one, so you want to read labels. It's their extra virgin roasted peanut oil is cold pressed, right? Used only from quality peanuts to ensure exquisite fullness of flavor. So you want to be reading labels. And then coconut oil, most you'll see they are very proud of their cold pressed, unrefined way that they extract that oil. So it's important to read labels there. Any questions on that?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
You said something about soaking chia seeds
Uh-huh.
to use them. Do you need to do that if you're throwing them in your smoothie too?
You know, I don't. What it says, it's just easier for you to digest them if you pre-soak them. So if when you're putting them in your smoothie or your yogurt and you notice that you get really bloated or gassy after eating them, then you want to have some soaking. And you could do it the night before. You could soak some and then throw them in your smoothie. Because what's happening is it's doing that soaking process in your gut, and that's kind of creating that bloat, right? Or extra gas. So we probably should soak ours. We're pretty gassy. We're a gassy couple.
So with that, you can only soak like one serving at a time, probably. It's not like you would soak a whole bunch and leave
No,
them.
right. You want to just soak what you're going to use. Yeah, like,
okay.
Yeah, you don't want to, because otherwise then you would lose all, like they would go bad.
Right.
You would
So
lose their.
Like the grinding process in like the Vitamix, doesn't it just kind of pulverize all of the shells and everything kind of right off of those? I mean, I don't really notice any chia seeds left when I.
Do you grind your chia seeds?
No, but they just go through the smoothie and then there's not anything left. So I assume they're getting pulverized pretty good.
And that helps. That helps with that digestive process. So it's probably not, wouldn't notice it as much as when you're drinking in your smoothie that's been all blended up, pulverized, like in Vitamix, versus throwing, sprinkling some into your yogurt. Like those will digest differently.
Right. Okay. That's what I was kind of wondering. Because, yeah, I knew that about the flaxseed. And that's true with like most animals, like with the horses and other things. If it's not ground up, it just goes right through because those are hard little guys. Which is funny because you'll see them in like granola and stuff, and they're just like, so they put them in there and they're just like little token flax seeds that aren't going to do you any good. But the hemp seeds, I've used those for a while, and they're actually really good in with our shakios. I kind of switch around through all of the different things, and I like them, and they don't do a flavor to it. So
that's what I was wondering.
And you can buy big bags of those too, so organic bags. So
awesome. I have like mason jars, and I throw them into my mason jar for make them look pretty and look like I like my kitchen. My kitchen's dirty. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I learned a few things, that's for sure. That's what it's about. So I think that was all. And then the other thing is, I guess the last thing is that with some of us that are doing 30-day breakaway, but even if you're not, we'll have an opportunity for you to do like the virtual 5K. So, and we'll put some information out there so that you can sign up for one. And it sounds kind of more intimidating. You don't have to run it, for one. And a lot of times, like Karen did, what did you do, 5 miles, 10 miles the other day? And I know you walk and hike a lot, Sheila. When Maury and I took the river out last weekend, we kind of got lost a little on the trail, just kind of adventuring around a little bit. And we put our thing on so we could see how far we went. And it was 3.2 miles, which is, we did a 5K just out walking. So, in that day. So it's not, we just put it into perspective. We can all do the 5K. And we're doing our workouts, we're building up our cardiovascular, our stamina. So it's something that we can all do. So we'll offer it out to everyone to be able to do that, and maybe even have something fun with it. I know we're just going to sign up for one, whether they do it virtually or in person, I don't know. But the Turkey Trot in Anchorage here raises money for the food bank, which is an important charity in my heart. I used to use the food bank once upon a time. So we have that opportunity where people can just sign up for a 5K, raise some funds for the charity, and then have fun while doing something healthy. So we'll put some information out on that. Okay.
Maybe you can keep it from getting any colder.
Yeah, okay. I know. Yeah, walk fast. Okay, ladies, thank you for getting on the call. Good to see you this morning. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.